Welcome to the card magic animation tutorial. So this part is only going to focus on the modeling and texturing side of things. Originally I didn't plan on making this a two-part video, but the modeling itself took around 20 minutes or so, and the simulation part of this video is even longer. I guess it's around 1 hour. Anyway, if you know modeling and texturing, then feel free to skip this video, but if you're a beginner, then I would recommend watching this. Really, it's up to you. Alright then, let's get this over with. Alright, so here we are in Blender 2.83 to start with the modeling of the cards and texturing as well. Alright, so before we get started, I'm just going to turn on my screencast keys on so you guys would have some idea what I'm doing. Now, since this is a simulation focused tutorial, I won't be paying, I'm going to go fast over the modeling part, but I'm going to try to explain everything that I do anyway. So hit A, delete everything. And then I'm going to add in an image texture with Shift A, image, reference. Now you'll have a link to all these textures that I'm using in the description. So yeah, that's it. But now we have a problem, and that is that these textures that or the reference image that we imported in, it's oriented weirdly, and that's because when we import reference images or background images as well, they orient according to the view. The fix on that is to just hit Alt R, and that basically resets its rotation. So now that that's done, I'm just going to go to the image properties, enable transparency, and set the opacity to something like 0.4. So this really helps us with the modeling part. Now I'm gonna hit Shift A and add in a plane, then Alt Z to go into X-ray mode just to see what's going on behind this shit, this plane, not shit. Then hit tab to go into edit mode, G, and bring this over. Or you know what, I think, yeah, we need to be on the top view just to see what's really going on. And if you don't know how to access this whole thing, just hit the tilde key, which is below the escape key. So when you do that, you get access to this pie chart, right? So top view, then select this top two vertices, G, Y, to bring it down, and hold shift to have finer movements. It's just going to pull it up just like that. Yep. Then select these two vertices, GX, hold shift for finer movements. I think this aligned perfectly. Select these two, GX, hold shift. Yeah, even this did its job really fine. GY. Just, yeah, perfect. Okay, so now that that's done, we are, so that's one problem that can be fixed, but really it doesn't really matter if it's sitting on the ground or anything else. Alright, so now that that's done, hit 3 to go into face select mode, and let's give it some thickness. Now we can use this solidify modifier, but really we just have to apply it anyway, so might as well just extrude it upwards holding Z, and something like this would be fine. Really, I haven't measured the thickness of cards, but yeah, I think this would work. Then hit 2 to go into edge select mode. Then let's select this vertice, and basically we're just selecting the corner vertices, sorry, edges, so that we can bevel it to get that curve around the cards. Alright, so when that's done, tilde key, top view, and then Control B to bevel it. And just move your mouse until you're fine with this whole bevel, I guess. I don't know what to call it. Just scroll up on your mouse wheel to get a good curve, and now adjust it the way you like it. I think this is fine. Cool. So yeah, we're kind of done with the modeling. I mean, we did model it. Now it's just a matter of duplicating this all over here, and then from then it's simple actually to, you know what, I'll just show you. Not doing a very good job at explaining stuff. Alright, so now that that's done, I'm gonna tab out of X-ray mode. I'm gonna go to the materials tab and add in a material. I'm gonna name this one kite. Now go to the shading workspace, Shift A, search image texture, and make sure that you're in the kite material. then plug this into the color socket, or the base color as it's called, and you'll see black, and that's because we have to load in a texture. Now we have to load in this texture, and since this reference image is already in Blender system, all we have to do is just click this icon and search, and then just choose it. Don't even have to search it, it's there. Alright, so that's there, but we have to UV unwrap it because we only want the A's to be shown over here. So tab into edit mode, A to select everything, hit U to bring up the UV mapping menu, UV mapping menu, and basically you can play around with this one. Unwrap smart project, they basically do the same thing. Project from view will get us a good or somewhat of a good result. Then just go to the UV editing workspace and making sure that you're in edit mode and this whole thing is selected. Hit A to select all the faces over here, and you can also click this, which basically means that whatever you select over here, sorry, oh, I don't know why I extruded that. Whatever you select over here will get selected over here, but either way, just A to select everything, G to move, and just bring it somewhere over here. Right, now I'm gonna hit S to scale it and hold shift to get finer movements. GX somewhere around here, GY just a tad bit, yeah, then scale up. Yep, this does it. So if we go to the look dev mode, we see that we have, or actually let's see it from here. Look dev mode, we have a texture applied, but we also have the same texture applied behind, and we really don't want that. We want the blue, this image, but in blue. Now you can go for the red one as well, it's up to you, but I like blue, so just gonna go with that. And let's just save this actually. So I think I'm in for real v1. Yeah, okay, we do, I suppose, because I'm recording this for the 5th time. Just haven't saved those 5 files. Alright, so now that that's done, let's add another texture, and let's just name this one back facing, which is facking. No, back facing. Yeah, that's also, I think FACE. This is wow, really a glamour lesson. Back facing. Cool. Now tab into edit mode and then just select the bottom face, which is this one, right? And then hit make sure that you have selected the back facing or facking texture, and then just select assign. So now if we tab out of edit mode, you'll see that we no longer have this same texture applied, so which means we have to apply we get to apply another texture. So let's head over to the shading workspace and let's make sure that we have back facing selected. And what I'm gonna do is just I'm gonna drag, I think it's the black heart ones has the blue texture on it, so I'm just gonna plug it in, and you see that we get this ace, which is perfectly, it's aligned perfectly, because yeah, and that's because the resolution, the spacing between all the textures that I provided you guys, they are the same. And I haven't made this texture, I got it from alldownload.com or something like that. But yeah, so let's head over to the UV section, and then let's just bring this this face, just in case it isn't selected, just select this, and then let's just bring it over here. So G, it's something like that. So I'm just gonna zoom in and make sure that I'm doing it the right way. Yeah, GY, light up, perfect. So if we tab out of edit mode, we get this, which is pretty awesome. Yeah, I think I like it. Alright, so now we are mostly done with everything, so all I have to do is just duplicate this. So you can add an array modifier if you want, but again we need the geometry, so Shift G, X, move it along, and once you're happy with it, just left click, and now all you have to do is just hit Shift R, which basically repeats the last action that you did. Then Shift select these, Shift D to duplicate, move it along the y-axis, and you'll notice that the origin points are kind of off, but that's okay. So again, select these four, Shift T, X, sorry, Y. Yep, that looks fine. And you get why I didn't select this, right? Yeah, you're smart. So let's fix the origin points. So here to select everything, right click, set origin to geometry. And now we have our origin points where they're supposed to be. Well, now you might see that we have a problem, and we do. We kind of have the ace texture all over it. Well, it's an easy fix. So click on this texture, and if you go to the shading works tab, you see that we have 14 now. 14 is written over here, and that's basically fake users, and which means that the changes that we make to this texture won't be applied to the changes that won't be applied to all these textures. That's what fake user means, or it's a way of saying that this texture only applies to this mesh and not any other meshes. Yeah, either way, yeah, just go to the shading workspace and make sure that you are on the kite texture. And where are we? What? Let's tab out of edit mode. Yeah, there you go. Select this, tab to go into, and select the top face, and now you'll see that we get our original image back. So let's just make sure that this face is selected, G, X to move it along the x-axis, and just align it like you want. Yeah, that seems fine. Then tab out of edit mode, then select this card, tab into edit mode, and again make sure that you select the top face, which automatically brings us to the kite texture, and then GX. Now there is no easy workaround this, but once we're done moving all the UVs for this one, it's really easy to get all of the other textures in place. Now when we duplicate it, you'll get what I mean. So I'm just going to quickly fast forward this, and I'll see you when all these are done. Alright, so the hard part is really done. Now you don't have to texture again, do the UV mapping and all that for the other what do you call them, cards, I guess. So here's the easy way for this. So first let's make a collection of these, everything that we've done. So let's just select everything, and we already have a collection, I guess. So let's just name this guide, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna right click here, duplicate collection, and then just gonna right click again, and we're select objects, yeah, and then G X, move it right along, right this, perfect. And then I'm just gonna simply delete this one. Yeah, it's easy. Then I'm gonna select this top texture, and then make sure that I'm on kite, and I'm just gonna simply, or you can either hit this, which is make fake user, so it basically duplicates this, and then go to the shading workspace, and instead of this texture, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring in, what should we bring in? I think black hearts, yeah, or red spades, yeah. I hope I named them right, because I have no idea. I want the names of the cards, and as soon as we plug it in, we see that we have the black, we basically have it, and it's perfectly aligned because, well, all of the textures that we have, they are equally spaced, the resolution is same, so UV map has no trouble placing itself on it. And now all you have to do is just select all of these, just like so, this, and then make sure that the first card that we edited, like we put the spades texture on, is the last one that you select, and then hit Ctrl L, which basically brings up this link menu, and you can basically link anything, object data, animation data, modifiers and stuff, but the ones that we're going to be using is materials. And notice what happens when I choose the materials option. Boom. That's, yeah, it's easy, right? Simple as that. So let's just name this one spades. I have no idea if that's right, but just go along with me. Now you're thinking that we should just duplicate all of this, and you know what, I'll just show you, and I'll, yeah. So again, I'm just gonna duplicate this, right click, then move them to another collection, which is, I think, black hearts. Black hearts matter, guys. Yep. and then just G X to move along. Whoa. And I think we have a problem over here. I think this texture, I think this one didn't get selected, so I'm just gonna choose this and then shift, let's select that, Control L, materials. Yeah, cool. So now let's choose this material again, and we have this kite. So let's just click this icon again. So that's gonna duplicate that one more time, then go to the shading workspace, and I'm just gonna delete this. And you know what, I'll delete this as well, and let's just bring in our black hearts, just like so. And then let's just plug this in, and we get this. So again, all you have to do is just select all of them, and you'll notice, and or you might be wondering that when we change this, why didn't all of this change? And the reason for that, and you might be okay to think that because since we linked all of this to this one, when we duplicated this, why didn't it change? And the reason for that is that these objects that we selected, they're still linked to this one, so they're not linked to this one even though we duplicated this everything. So anyway, shift select this ace card that we just changed the texture. Then Control L and materials. All right, so we just have to do this song and dance one more time. So duplicate, right click, making sure that you haven't moved anything, M to bring this menu, new collection. And what are these white sorry what hats, let's just call it hats. I think we already have a hearts. Yeah, the red hearts. You know what? Let's just name them red hearts. Boom. So now that that's done, again, moving nothing, selecting nothing, G, X, like so. Then click on this texture right over here, materials, kite, press this number again, and we basically have duplicated it again. So instead of just going over there, I'm just gonna go over here under base color, bring it down, and we get this. So let's just choose the white red hearts right from here. Open image, it's changed. Great. So select this, and making sure that this is the last texture that we selected, the one that we edited. Then hit Control L, materials, and ta-da! So I'm just gonna delete this one, this reference image as well. So there you go, guys. You have modeled cards now. I think it's a big thing. Yeah. So yeah, so the modeling part and the texturing part is done. So let's just add in a light, or you know what, we'll add the light and stuff in the new file that we'll bring in. But either way, let's just see how it looks. Light, point light. Yep. G said bring it up a bit. Let's just go to the render mode, and let's just change it to something like 100. Yeah, that should do the trick. Or maybe let's go 1000, and let's just move it somewhere over here. So you can see everything's fine. And let's take a look at the back side. Yep, working perfectly. So this is the end of part 1, and if you thought that was an awkward cut, then it definitely was, because I originally didn't plan on making a 2-part tutorial, but and to be honest, I thought the modeling section will only take for like 10 minutes or something, but apparently it took a while, and I just didn't want this tutorial to be like 50 or 60 minutes long, because the simulation is gonna take a while. So I decided to just end it here. So, and you can see that this point, I think in the earlier recording it was somewhere in here, or maybe it was here, who cares. This is another cut, and I just want to tell you guys that this is the end of part 1. Okay, so before we move along to the part 2, that is, I'm just gonna delete this point light by hitting X, and then I'm gonna add another collection. You don't have to do this, but this is just for, organization's sake. So I'm just gonna name this all cards, and then I'm gonna select all this and then drag it into this collection. So basically we have one master collection, as you can see here. And what we're going to do in the next part is that we're going to start with a fresh file, and then we're going to import or append this, we're going to append this file into that file. So yeah, so we'll have one whole Blender file for only the cards, which is great, right? Because you don't want to just start a new, or you just don't want to continue with this thing and then later on if you want to do some changes to the cards or something like that. So it's a safe thing to do. So anyway, this is it for the part 1. Thank you for following along. I know some of you were interested in the simulation, which is what we're going to do next. But for those of you who just wanted to know how to model this and just, apply the textures and stuff, then this is it. So yeah, I'll see you in the next one, boys. That was weird. And girls, sorry. I'll see you in the next one, boys and girls.